Dr. Karp here, and I'd like to talk about your lockdown health battle. We all have them. I mean, we're dealing with a situation here where our lifestyle has been uprooted and we're stuck at home, and you are being faced with a challenge. You can call it a battle, you can call it a challenge, whatever it is. You need to be able to come to a new balance in your life, and you need to think about that honestly so that you can get through this without packing on pounds and increasing your risk for other conditions. So let's just start with some statistics from the World Health Organization and see if you can see yourself in some of these. 40% reported one adverse mental or behavioral health condition. 26% reported symptoms of trauma. 13% started or increased substance abuse use to cope. 11% considered suicide. 18 to 24 most affected, with 75% reporting some sort of symptoms. And 1 week after the global pandemic declared, 78% of all antidepressants, anti-anxiety medicines, anti-insomnia prescriptions were all new. Now, you know that I'm not against medications, but when you have an objective view of the challenges that you have, then you'll understand that changing your lifestyle in some very simple ways, or at least even just seeing things a little more clearly, will allow you to become your own authority in health, to be able to make those decisions for yourself and for your family. Now, for kids, it's terrible. I mean, we all feel sorry for the kids because, first of all, when it comes to food, most rely on school for nutrition. Even with the one could say questionable nutritional density of the food in schools, it's still better than most of what they're getting at home, which is partly why kids experience more weight gain during the summer, and they don't lose it during the year, which means that every summer they pack on more pounds, and obviously school closures are going to increase this obesity problem. So what are we going to do? Well, an objective view of this is to think about things from the 4 pillars. These are the 4 pillars of health that I call them. And you need to look at whether you're balanced in all of these things. What about movement? Are you moving? Are you walking? Are you doing exercise in any way? Nutrition. Do you have a plan in place? Now is the time for you to get rid of processed foods. Just literally, now is the time. You put on more weight, the risks for the virus are worse. So now is the time to make some definitive decisions that are going to lead to a better life for you. So this channel is filled with videos on that, but the point is that we have a decision to make that's going to improve our emotional state. We don't realize how much of our emotional state is directly related to the processed foods that we have, with our blood sugar going up and down and our bodies trying to detoxify. This is causing a lot of clouded thinking and all kinds of abnormal desires for certain foods that lead to binging, and all these sorts of things can be corrected. But I don't want to get too far off track because there are many videos on this channel to discuss that. What are you feeding yourself? In other words, what are you feeding your mind? Are you watching dark Netflix series one after the other? How are you lifting your mood? How are you feeding your brain? So obviously things like music and uplifting works of fiction or prayer and meditation, or even watching your favorite comedy on Netflix or whatever it is, try to actively lift your mood as much as you can. And also try to do that for the rest of your family. Environmental influences, thinking about the water and thinking about the water, air, etc., and the cleanliness of the environment. How is your environment cluttered? Is this a time to be able to make your home a sanctuary for the first time now that you have the time? And as always, I always say that Zig Ziglar's quote, which I consider a master quote, you can have everything in life you want if you will help enough other people get what they want. Which means that we should be focused on the other during this crisis. We are all dealing with stress, and sometimes the resolution of our stress is to be found in helping those around us who seem to be suffering worse than us. And when we do that, it gives us a sense of purpose beyond whatever purpose we may have already determined. And maybe it's a time to think about this idea of purpose in your life, and given the situation that we're in. And it could just be coming up with a project or something, or a direction, I should say, that you are moving towards. Viktor Frankl would be a good author to read. There's a book that came out recently, A Man's Search for Meaning. And another book, Edith Eger. It was on Oprah's book club last year, written by I think she's like 93, 94-year-old. Also sort of, she's sort of like the female version of Viktor Frankl. A book's called The Choice. It's an excellent book to think about what purpose means in your life, and maybe now is the time to get a better clarity on that. Of course, laughing and hugging are always going to be good. Maybe incorporating massage into your life, learning massage, maybe learning that skill, and then activating your parasympathetic nervous system. And I'll include a link to a video where I discuss that in more detail. So that is what we're talking about today, your lockdown battle, and really just having some clarity on the fact that you are dealing with a battle. You're dealing with trying to come up with balance, and thinking about them again from these 4 pillars of health is going to give you some insight. So this is Dr. Karp. As always, my goal is for you to become your own authority in health, and I hope that with this video you'll see something in your life that will allow you to make a confident decision and change to improve the quality of your health and hopefully the quality of people's health around you. See you next time.